Hey, Fanboy Nation.
This is your pal Daffy Duck, and you're watching.
We're watching
You're watching Fanboy.
Fanboy.
A fanboy, etc.
Fanboy Nation.
Dot, I assume Tom.
How are you this morning? Thank you for making Mosul. My family is from the Middle East, and it was great to hear the Iraqi accent being used. A priest of mine is from Mosul himself, so I would be remiss not to ask on behalf of the indigenous Assyrio-Babylonian population of Iraq, how come the Assyrian people were never mentioned in the film, since Mosul is built on top of Nineveh. Nineveh SWAT team is named after the ancient civilization as capital, and the people are still there with their churches being burnt down and having survived ISIS. I can talk about relatives and friends that were translators over there, and even friends that escaped through Syria, whose Iraqi moms are tougher than anything, because they were actually taking video and photos as if it was a family trip escaping ISIS.
Yeah, I mean, look, we are very tuned, like, the stories that you're bringing up right now are massively important, and like those are the kind of things we respond most strongly to, is those stories that aren't being told. I mean, the thing about this film in terms of Mosul, I mean, there are hundreds of movies that can be made about what happened in Mosul, and there should be that number of movies made, because it's the kind of a human experience that deserves that kind of exploration. Even the article, even if you go back to the original article from the New Yorker that this movie is based upon, you can make dozens of movies from simply that article or more. So, you know, there was no, you know, in the way the objective of the movie wasn't to provide sort of like a comprehensive analysis of what Mosul is. There's a lot of complicated ethnic groups and traditions that sort of make up this sort of the stew of what modern day Mosul is, and those groups have all sort of had their own unique experiences in the trauma that's happened there in that country. So there wasn't, you know, I can just say that the story of the people you're talking about is a story that needs to be told, even if it wasn't told in this film.
And there was no intentional exclusion, yeah.
But I think it's incredibly important.
The primary accent used in the film is the Iraqi dialect, especially from Baghdad. The cast is international, like in the United States, how we even have our own various American accents. Excuse me. Arabic has their own distinct accents. How difficult was it when a shot came out beautifully, but then you realize, oh, that's a Jordanian accent that's being used, or that's a Moroccan accent being used, or since Adam's Tunisian, and did you have to go back and reshoot that entire scene, or would you just dub it over with the Iraqi accent?
We made the choice to use the Baghdad accent because it was easier for all the actors to get that dialect, because it was, as we saying, you know, we were pulling from the diaspora. So, you know, there were actors coming from all over the world. We had actors from Michigan, we had actors, you know, so it was easiest in the time that we had to get them to do the Baghdad accent. But, you know, we had a lot of people on set paying very close attention, including a dialect coach from Iraq and Muhammad, who were paying very close attention to the way that people spoke. And, you know, it's like anything, you're trying to get an American actor to do an English accent or vice versa. There are going to be moments where, you know, they don't do it exactly the way that they should. So we wouldn't reshoot, we would loop. And we did go back and do some looping throughout the film to try to get it to stay as cohesive as possible. That was really important to everyone involved. Hopefully, knock on wood, we did a good enough job.
Yeah, I mean, we knew at the end of the day we wanted the movie to hold up to an ear like yours, like somebody who understood the subtleties of that. Like, we really wanted the movie to hold up, and we've spent an immense amount of time and effort on that, to be honest with you, all the way through the process, from rehearsals onward through the post process.
Well, you guys definitely did nail it, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you for saying that.